Okay, as I mentioned earlier, I made some coffee. Everything at your own risk. Compliments of the town of Franklin.
Something here. It's not mine.
Give yourself a raise.
Oh, man, overtime. There you go. So I think we'll go ahead and get started. As I look around, I think we've got the right number of folks to make it happen. Don't go away.
Sorry. My newspaper's here.
No, I know. Double coverage. All right. So let's go around. We have kind of a guest member from the press. I'd like him just to briefly introduce himself, and then let's go around the table and say our name and who we represent. So Harry Taylor, right?
Yes.
Is here from the Macon County News. Macon County News, right? And we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
And so I don't know if you want to say anything else.
I'm just going to sit here and be quiet and pay attention.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and start. I'm Bill Van Horn. As I mentioned, Harry, the town of Franklin submitted an application, became a designated community in 2010. At that time, I represented the Navajalo Hiking Club. And chairman or vice chairman, or we have kind of a group that shepherds this organization. So we'll go ahead.
I'm Christina Lowe. I work at the Macon County Public Library, and I am also on the I'm a co-chair here at the community.
Gary Shields, County Commissioner, and also observing and listening and trying to fill in the gaps.
I'm Ken Murphy with Lazy Hiker Brewing Company.
Diana Otero from the Nantahila Hiking Club.
Linda Harbutt from the Franklin Chamber of Commerce.
And Jonathan Snyder from the Friends of the Greenway. Joe Conception, Town Planner.
Matt Bateman, Stay and Play in the Smokies.
Brian Browning, the U.S. Forest Service.
Okay, who is not here, and most I know that said they wouldn't be here, and that was Shelley Marshall from the Macon County Schools. You know, she said early on that she'd probably make every other meeting. Right, and Christina's got her proxy. The county planner, Matt Mason, told me he wouldn't make it. Did he proxy to you, Justin?
I was going to discuss that with him, but I forgot all about it.
Okay. And Patty Abel let the executive committee know that she would not be here, and somebody's got her vote. He's got her vote. Matt. Okay. Matt's got hers. Christina's got Shelley's, and then the mayor will be here when he gets out of another meeting. Okay, review of minutes from the January 13th meeting.
Second page. Second and third page. And I did not get any changes.
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes? All right. Okay, old business, AT celebration event, period, first day of spring to Earth Day. Just wanted to review the schedule of events that we've got. And I'm making the assumption that between Rob and Corey, they're getting ready to, launch the website. And obviously we need to feed them information to do that. I handed out what I briefly wrote up for 2 Natahela Hiking Club events. It was a separate sheet down there. I'm no expert on format, so I went with what I'm familiar with after 29 years. Who, what, when, where, and why. So I don't know, more or less what the other, organizations that are doing different things, but, that's a stab of, I think, the very, very basic information, at least from the club perspective, of what the Natahela Hiking Club plans on doing. Ken, the club, I don't want to speak for Diana, but I spoke to the vice president of the club last night, pillow talk, and, depending where the brewery is, if you want to be, quote, a sponsor and be advertised that way just because we are using your land, then that's fine. Just something to think about.
Okay. Well, we will not be open, but we're happy to host it, happy to be a co-sponsor. Just let us know what we need to do other than provide the facility.
Yeah, and I know that the NHC is having a board meeting tonight, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And obviously, there'll be a couple of members coming we'll arrange to meet with you or whoever and walk the perimeter and see what you've got in mind and what we got in mind. Be good to go. So, again, on the events that I've got down, again on that weekend, the 28th, we've got the Hiker Bash in Warren Haven at the Sapphire Inn. We've got Threegle Outfitter doing their anniversary celebration. Outdoor 76 said they will do something that day that's focused on the local community and educating them or informing them. And then the Natahela Hiking Club, along with the Lazy Hiker Brewing Company, will be doing the chow down. To think about.
Bill, can I say something?
Yeah.
Do we have this in electronic form? The calendar, the Google, or
No, we don't.
that would be.
And it kind of. I was hoping that the information would flow to Robert Corey, and they would build something that could be shared. But we're not there yet.
Okay.
And I haven't asked them to do that, but I thought that would be part of what they built would be easy to get out in a number of different ways.
Then it'd be easier for other outlets to pull in that calendar if they're already using a Google Calendar, or if they're just need to plug it in their own calendar or whatever. It'd be a nice central hub.
Can you kind of work with Robin Corey on that, or
I can, yeah. I can.
do with that? And so that's the 28th. I really ought to back up because I know the First Baptist Church is going to start their breakfast on the 14th, and the library is going to start events, I think, on the 18th.
Yeah, I've actually got a list for everyone.
Let me run through this and we'll get to, okay, so that takes care of we're down to the 28th. And then the next weekend on the 4th, Natahela Hiking Club will be doing their Easter on the Trail. Outdoor 76 said that they will do another event. This time it's focused on the thru hiking. The First Baptist Church ends their breakfast on the 10th. A new event on the calendar, loosely talked about. I don't know, Jonathan, if you want to say anything about what you know is happening, potentially happening on the 10th and 11th, I guess, of April.
Actually, I don't. I missed the last meeting. I had the Frog Board meeting, so I'm not up to speed on it.
Okay, what I know is that the Friends of the Greenway is looking to do a fundraising event. It's basically yard sale out of the back of your trunk.
They were talking about that, and I guess they're serious about it. Doesn't sound like a great thing to me, but
Okay.
I think what they're going to do is it's basically a flea market with a bunch of people who can bring their cars and sell their stuff out of their cars.
And it'll be down at Big Bear. Dave Lynn, my understanding, is the action person on it. And I talked to him on the phone. I invited him to this meeting, but he couldn't make it. He's out of town. I mentioned to him the idea of synergy, if that event would be somehow related, focused, something to the Appalachian Trail. I mentioned to him about the idea of incorporating a gear swap for the somewhat younger generation, gear swap. And I said he might want to talk to the brewery and see when you all might be doing a grand opening. And it might be a nice weekend to have their tailgate thing, the same whatever you do at the opening. But that might not work. But synergy, synergy. We can raise all these lifeboats, Bob.
I'm 40.
Yeah.
Tell me what synergy means.
We all work together. We all survive.
I don't go along with that philosophy.
So those are the events that I know about. And like I said, the most recent one is the Friends of the Greenway looking at doing something in tying during that period.
And do they have a date?
They were saying a 2-day event, the 10th and 11th of April. That still may be a little tentative, but that's what
Who was the last person contact you about it?
I talked to Dave Lynn yesterday,
Oh, okay.
and then Kay about a week ago. So
I saw it on an email, that she sent out.
Yeah.
Last week.
Trying to remember what my last email from Kay was.
Okay, Christina, you want to talk a little bit more in detail about
Sure.
everything the libraries?
I'll pass these around. Couple of this way, and I'll share with you because I don't think I have notes. I have a lot going on. There's like 11 different events, so I don't know if we want to go through all of them. What we do at the library is a lot more geared to just the community, not so much trying to get through hikers in. I think they'd be interested in anything we do, but it's more about letting the local community and visitors know what we've got to do here in the area. Some of it is related to the Appalachian Trail, and some of it has to do with other local outdoor activities.
So you're showing wild?
That's planned, yeah. It's supposed to be out on DVD the 24th of this month. So, yeah, and we've got a lady on the board of the library who has hiked on the Pacific Crest Trail, so she's going to do a talk the next day. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff around here.
And do you still have any openings that you could take if someone knew someone that?
Kind of, but I've got like 10 or 11 events going on. Instead of doing 2 solid weeks of programs, I'm trying to give myself a break by doing 5 weeks of only 2 or 3 programs a week. We'll see how I survive.
Is anyone else from the library helping you? Just you yourself?
Most of these are other people coming in and doing programs. I'm just getting contracts and getting dates and times and making sure we have the movies and things like that.
Well, I think what's good, and I'm certainly pleased to see. Obviously, the library's been a great supporter from the get-go, and they've this year they've spread out their event, got more events going on, and so I think that's great. And we talked before about the art program, the nature art display.
That's near the back of the bottom page. Tuesday, April 21st.
So that'll bring a lot of young folks and grandparents and that type sort of thing to the library.
Yeah, and I'd say if we find other things related, we do programs throughout the summer. So there's always more time to promote the Appalachian Trail and the outdoors. of someone or want to do a program, just talk to me.
Okay.
All these events posted up at the library, so
We
that
will.
it's
Yeah,
well
I'm
worn.
working on a brochure that I should have at the next meeting. That'll just look a little nicer than this.
Okay, the fourth item down here, the Make It Transit update. No. I spoke, Julie Moore works at the U.S. Forest Service. She's handling, one of her duties is to handle the special use permits. I saw her yesterday and spoke to her, and I knew that Kim Angel about a week, 10 days ago had sent in the application. I spoke to Julie. Obviously, she had seen the application. She said it had been reviewed by Mike Wilkins, and initial thought there's no significant issue or anything with the application. So I don't think that's going to be any kind of holdup whatsoever. I'm not 100% sure when Kim was going to give it. I guess right now the way it's set up is that people will just call. But again, I had suggested to Kim that she might want to look at a schedule at some point in time, maybe the middle of March or something like that. So all that looks good. And obviously,
What was her response on setting up that schedule? Because I think that would be.
she didn't really, she kind of wait and see type of thing.
Is she concerned about the numbers, whether the numbers justify a schedule, or?
No. I think she just kind of wants to wait and see what happens on that. As I passed out a handout of a page out of the AT guide, and based upon what Justin had submitted, the Macon County Transit is in there. It lists the number and it says $3 per person. Man, if I'm standing in Winding Stair Gap and I can get cell phone coverage and I can call somebody to come get me for $3, that's a no-brainer. I think that's really good. The next item, the AT Community Partnership Assessment Form. I emailed that out. You've got a copy here. There are a few areas where I will reach out and get a little bit more specific information, but if you've got any comments or questions, we can certainly talk to them. And I do want to make sure I've got the email and the phone number that you're happy with. And if not, then okay, that's good. But I just need to know on that. So from Christina's point of view and my point of view, we're pretty good to go with this. Minus, I said, the email and phone number. I've got to get a little bit more information from some of the school teachers on what they have done. We got a couple of photographs to attach to this.
You just read it.
I do need, as we talked about, from, I think, Justin from the town. Assuming it makes sense, the town's comprehensive plan, a copy of the comprehensive plan, a copy of the zoning ordinance. No, actually, I don't need this and then the strategic marketing plan. We thought that was the TDA has one.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that really available?
I think so. Well, yes and no. I have to. Yeah, probably. Sorry.
But what I'm thinking, Mr. Mayor, is that this should go in from the town, and it ought to have a transmittal letter, cover letter, not unlike what Mayor Collins signed when the application went in. And Justin's got a copy of that.
Yeah, I have the other one to go by. Well, yeah, I've got it, I gave you a copy.
Yeah, but I think we get that transmittal letter, we have this, and we have those 3 documents that I talked about. Go, the bulk should go digitally.
The county does have a comprehensive plan. And on the line here, you've got comprehensive zoning ordinance, no county. Is that
The
correct?
county?
Yeah, the county does have a comprehensive plan.
But it's not a zoning thing.
No, it's just a comprehensive.
Right, right.
Which town, well, I'm like, the town doesn't have a comprehensive plan.
But a
They have a
UDO.
growth zone, or a, yeah.
The
Princi- yeah, principles of growth.
Yeah, UDO, doesn't
They
that
have the
fall into
UDO.
that? Yeah.
But not an actual physical comprehensive plan. Everything that wouldn't count like comprehensive plan.
UDO is a Unified Development Ordinance in case.
So the town's got a UDO,
Mhm.
the county's got a comp plan.
So that's not an unworkable development ordinance?
What's that?
That's not an unworkable
What, the
development
UDO?
ordinance?
Oh, it's constantly evolving. But it was a good start.
Does that take the place of zoning for town?
That is the zone.
That
Yeah.
is,
So the comprehensive plan for town is what we need a copy of.
No, I don't think the town doesn't have a comp plan, right?
No,
You have a UDO, period.
and we have a principles of growth, which it goes into housing. It's kind of what is to be a comp plan, but it's not.
Okay.
It's not as detailed as a comp plan would be.
And again, I think, this assessment, for those questions to the town, I really think it's meant to focus on those towns that have the AT running right through them. That's what's meant, in my belief. So in this case, it's really the county's information that has merit to this.
Which the county's comp plan, I just download from the website, put it in there. It's on-
Or provide a link.
Or a link,
Yeah.
or-
Yes. Would be an easier way to go. So we get that, and then, gotta get a little more, or get some information from the AT ambassador that we had, Mary Bennett, a couple of years ago. And I think that will take care of this. The UDO and the principles of growth, is there a link for them?
Yeah, there is for the UDO principal growth. I don't think it's on our website. Needs to be.
I'm just thinking that as opposed to sending a bunch of paper or a document, just give them the link. If they want to go to it, they can go
Well,
to
yeah,
it.
definitely you don't want to send in UDO. It's like 170
Right.
pages.
Right.
But the principal growth's only like 20.
Unified Development Ordinance.
Principles of growth is the thing.
Yeah, it's not very long. Which then it wouldn't be a big deal.
That's not online, you said?
I don't think so. There's a couple things we need to get on their website.
Now, if you'll turn to, while we're on this, if you'll turn to the items for future discussion.
Let's see, is that in?
Yeah, that's in the packet.
Agenda? Yeah, it's on the phone days. Before that.
Before you get to the bylaws.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so when we went through the partnership assessment form, especially when we got to the area where we needed to comment on hiker services. Not available, limited available, available widely, and so on. That's where we had a little bit of discussion on these issues that we felt might form a work plan for the next 5 years. Or things that the committee could work on or focus on. And so I just show those for your consideration. Not looking to talk in any great detail about them today. If anyone, those that were at the assessment forum meeting, if you have any comments or clarification on those points, or the rest of you have any questions, we try to answer.
You would tell the hiking club secretary that she did a nice job pulling this out.
Or the vice president.
Sharon's vice president.
Just one quick question on one of the things. One of the things we talked about is not having limited access for showers. And my recollection is we talked about the fact that there is shower access at the community center.
Community building.
That's the one on Atlanta Highway.
Yes.
Right? And so my follow-up question to that's on the main route for Metro Transit as well, right? So it is not? Okay.
No, the closest they get is like the Walgreens.
Okay.
Out there, as far as the circle.
Okay. So they would only go there would they go there on request, or is that just outside of the normal route?
I'm not certain.
Because
I was helping a hiker who was trying to get there, and I
Okay.
think she had to get dropped off at Walgreens.
Okay. To the extent we have difficulty in adding showers, if we could just add transportation to existing showers, I think it would all be almost as good.
I think all that would require just be a call to Kim Angel and just say if on as needed basis.
Right.
Don't you think, Gary, the Macon Transit, they'd do that all right?
Yes. I think somebody can, I'm just learning. Seems like the Parker Meadows project should have something built in their vicinity that pertains to showers. And I think you can get close, really, maybe even the camping.
Yeah, I think so.
I see where we just got the availability for camping. We can talk to Derek Rowe and try to incorporate showers and a little hangout place there for the AT group.
Why don't we use the fire department's decontamination unit? We just hose everybody down.
Actually, there are showers at the West Macon Fire Department. They're part of the public bathrooms.
But I just didn't know if you'd incorporate, I need to find out something about
Things are looking up.
if this could be incorporated in Parker Meadows. That would be good. I'll check with Derek on that.
So when that facility is open, I kind of know where it is. It's ways outside of town.
But it's coming down with a hiking trail, right? You're out, going out 64, and you're coming back this way, you're going right by it's right behind Mount Hope Church, so you're going right by it.
Yeah,
Maybe camping and a laundry.
there's a big potential there.
And showers. I'll see if there's any, I'm not sure about laundry, but it'd be nice to incorporate something like this into that arena. Give it a little bit more.
It becomes that much
PR
more
clout.
versatile too.
But it's definitely something to think about over time. And obviously, the county could charge a small fee, obviously, for camping spot and that type of
AT&T part of that, if they're looking at heritage and those type of things.
Will they have staff there regularly?
Yes, they will. That's part of the budget plan.
And the idea about the fire departments, if they would be, Bob, do you know, does the Franklin Fire Department have, obviously they have showers and stuff.
Yeah, they have.
Very limited.
They have one shower, but we would have to have some discussion.
No, I got all that, but I'm just looking like the case in point where, now, the people that own motels might not like this, but, you know, the hiker that's just coming into Franklin to pick up a box from the post office, resupply, do laundry, and take a shower and get right back out on the trail. So this is the case if they weren't planning on spending time in town anyway, I mean overnight. But if there's a place that they could go, even if they had to pay a couple of bucks, take a shower, that was more towards the center of town.
Washing machines at the fire department.
Yeah. But just, something to think about and see what the options might. That'd be good. Okay, any other discussion?
I'll talk with Seth and county manager.
Okay. Yeah, just to say, looking towards the future, Gary, thank you. Bylaw review. Ken from his former life and Christina sat down and went through bylaws, did a little bit of rearranging and doctoring up, more in format than in content.
You need it shorter.
There are some substantive questions that Christine and I didn't feel like we could on our own initiative make. But we'd like to bring up for discussion just as we have a series of points.
Why don't we go through what we got here, and then maybe hopefully we can come back and address some of them,
Okay.
if not all. I did attend the TDA meeting last night, and they had a good conversation about people missing meetings and excused absences and that type sort of thing. So if we get talking about that, I think there's some value in sharing what they went through. So hopefully that's never an issue, but in case it is. Okay. ATC's Walk in the Woods Task Force update. The executive director, along with a member from ATC's board, went out to the Sundance Festival and saw the movie. And they thought the movie was good. Very positive about the AT. Very positive, except for one. Very positive about hiker activities and actions on the AT. The only comment was there is a point in time where Nick Nolte pours out all his alcohol out of his flask and over some overlook, says, "I'm not going to drink anymore," or something like that. ATC believes that the movie will be released in late summer. ATC was moving forward with a self-registration on their website so that true hikers could look and see how many people were starting the same day they were starting, so that could be spread out. They're moving forward with additional ridge runners, caretakers, those folks that provide education, information, and community relations on the trail, specifically in the Georgia section. They're looking to move forward with a program to train club volunteers to go out and do those type of duties on a day hike. Initial focus would be the Nantahala Hiking Club and the Smoky Mountain Hiking Club. Again, here in the south, where there's where the hikers are still pretty bunched up. ATC is still in coordination with the movie producers to look at a way that they would support with revenue. Last week when we were out, Diana and I were out doing trail maintenance, we passed four through hikers. Yesterday I was out on the trail up by Waya Bald, another through hiker, started 1 February. So they're out there working their way north. The AT virtual hike opportunity, Olga Pater, the NHC Club president, and myself attended the subcommittee from the Healthy Carolinians here in Macon County that deals with obesity prevention and diabetes, and presented them the AT virtual hike model. They were somewhat interested. I told them about our committee's work, about the idea of an AT celebration period starting in the middle of March, going through the middle of April. The idea being that if they wanted to launch something like that, doing it sometime during that period might be good. Again, gets that synergy, Bob, to take advantage of all AT things going on during that period. So we'll just have to wait and see. The hiking club offered to support them as they move forward, if they decide to move forward with that AT virtual hike idea. And the library backpack program, which I think we've talked a little bit before.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to update about that though. Yeah, the library does want to do something like this. I have backpacks, a couple of backpacks available to be checked out for a few days to take on a hike. It would have first aid kits, flashlights, trail maps, just depending on where they want to go hiking. Hopefully through some donations from outfitters for like surplus of backpacks, outdated ones. We haven't moved forward on that, but we're still talking about that.
And I did, I've been talking to Christina about this program, and we shared information from the program that took place in Damascus. And I was able to contact an individual out of the AT Community Committee up in Dover, Pawlings, 2 towns up in the New England. And both of the libraries up there have done that program. And she's going to send me the library points of contact, so we'll get more information on anything to do that. And then there's just something that us there at Macon County Library can take a look at and see where we go from there. Okay, any questions on their old business or any other old business that someone wants to bring up?
My only question is, I didn't understand what you were saying about the biology. Do you want me to go to the executive committee?
No, I wanted to run through this agenda for today and then see if we can circle back.
Okay.
And talk to some of the substantial points.
Okay.
Okay, anything else under old business?
Where does the applications from the school fall?
We'll put that under new business. How about that? And why don't we go?
Okay, that's new. So I've got the applications from Cartagena Elementary School and Macon County School District to be Appalachian Trail community supporters. Do you want me to just read their application summaries?
I think so.
So Cartagena School, Brian Krupe is the contact. Cartagena School has held field trips on the Appalachian Trail for the upper grade students for over 10 years. The field trip consists of a 4-mile round trip hike on AT from Wyacross to Silabald. Prior to the hike, the Nantahala Hiking Club is invited to give a presentation on the history of the AT, day hiking fundamentals, and leave no trace outdoor ethics. Cartooja J School students constructed a mini AT, it's 0.5 miles long, with support from the hiking club and the U.S. Forest Service on its property for use during PE. Cartooja J has allowed several presenters, Leave No Trace, instructors, through hikers, and naturalists to talk about the AT, its importance, and its restorative effects. Cartooja J has a great relationship with the AT community in Franklin. So that's theirs.
So before we move on, just as a reminder, this is a separate program that the Appalachian Trail Conservancy designed called the AT Community Supporter Program. It's an opportunity for organizations, businesses that have done something to support the community program, support this committee, to be recognized with a certificate and a window decal and a mention on the ATC's website. So, could I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, could I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so that's approved.
Okay, awesome. And then we have one from the whole Macon County schools, and they've got Shelley Marshall as their contact, who's a member. Macon County School District has allowed 8 teachers to participate in the Trail to Every Classroom program. 6 out of our 10 county schools have held field trips to the Appalachian Trail. Most schools do this now on an annual basis, which puts 200 plus students hiking on the AT annually. Prior to the hikes, the hiking club is invited to give a presentation on the history of the AT, day hiking fundamentals, and Leave No Trace outdoor ethics. And then she talks a little bit more about Cartooja J School and their mini AT on school grounds for use during PE. School District has provided a member to the Franklin AT Community Committee since its inception. The school system is an active participant in the Franklin AT celebration, continues to encourage teachers to look for ways to highlight the AT in classroom instruction. So that's for the whole school district.
Sounds good. Could I have a motion?
All motion.
May I have a second? All in favor of approving their application?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you.
Now we have to plan a visit.
Well, no, we gotta get, we'll get this,
Yeah.
certificates and the decals and then we'll.
How many is that total? Community supporter?
Good question.
Might be
We have
6.
to look on our website. Yeah, because we did 4 that one morning.
We did
the
the
library before that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, the library was the first one. Then we did the First Baptist Church, the Chamber, Outdoor 76, Three Eagle Outfitter, and I think that's 5. And then these 2.
Do we have a contrasting view of other communities and how they're performing?
If you go to the ATC website community page, it's got the list of all of the towns that are communities, and you just go to each of their
And it lists their
town
supporters?
pages.
Community support, okay, cool.
And there's not a specific form for submitting this, right? It's just a.
No, there is a
There
form.
it is. Yeah, you can.
It's 1 page. Who, what, when, and what you did, that sort of thing, and just have short write-ups in it. And of course, we're the approval. Pardon?
Is this on the AT?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you go onto the AT community website and there's a link down there to pull up that form. Unfortunately, I don't think you can fill it out online.
Yeah.
And again, we are the approval, and we just send it to ATC Southern Regional Office to get the certificate and the decal to award to the community support.
They're pretty quick in getting those out, so
Yep.
you
Yep.
might keep in mind that you might want to do that.
Okay, under new business, the idea if, and then really this is for the town to consider, what you want to do for a renewal event. And obviously, with the AT celebration period, if you want to do something in April, late April, or just to think about, and more importantly, would be to depend on what you want to do, so that ATC can plan if possible, to get someone here from ATC, to take part, or be at the alderman meeting when you read a new proclamation or whatever.
I'm sorry, but what's the timing on consideration of our application for?
Well, it's really not an application. It's just, they're just asking that we turn the form in. So there's no process of approval or anything like that. You know, it's sort of understood. Town's been active. You know, it's just that we're looking at the next. Turn the form in, and we're looking at another 5-year period. Yeah. So we committee of the town's driving that train when the form gets submitted, and then what you want to do to recognize it, how you want to do that.
Okay, what I would suggest doing is y'all let us know what you want to do, and we'll do it. Yeah. Let us know what kind of thing you want to have, and we'll set it up.
So from a committee standpoint, obviously it's an opportunity to bring a focus on the Appalachian Trail. But just, you get, I know in the first time, which was probably pretty grandiose, we had a couple speakers, we had a meal, and then the town did a proclamation. Certificate then was presented from ATC to the town on their designation. So there's other options.
One of the things that I might suggest is do something at one of our new businesses to promote the hiking into some of our new businesses too. And I'm not specifically looking at Ken, but I'm sort of sending him out signals.
I just wish I could give you a date we'd be open. I can't do that yet.
I know, and
but we'd love to again be part of that.
yeah, I think it would be more meaningful to have some kind of special event and we'll pay for it rather than doing it here in the town hall, which is pretty dull, really. And it doesn't really
in
speak.
addition to celebrating at the town hall. Let's say in
Well,
addition.
in addition to, yeah, something we might could do something maybe at the gazebo or something to where we sort of pull the public into it a little more.
And then hike down to the brewery.
There you go.
Well, I'll drive.
Come on now.
I'm again all this hiking stuff.
Too lazy to hike down there?
Yeah, but it is downhill.
But if you don't submit this form, do you get disconnected from being an AT destination?
I don't. That's not their intent.
It's really just a re-evaluation. They want to figure out how to help us too.
I would say that we should be able to do it early March. I just got to collect a little bit more information, make a few typographic changes, and hopefully get the links for these documents. And then, like I said, look, if the town would submit it, there'd be a transmittal letter, cover letter, and it would go in. So I would think early March, it would be gone before our next meeting. I would think.
It's no problem. I'll sign off on it.
Yeah, so that'll be good. And then, I think, why don't we think about some ideas for what we'd like to see with the event. Different organizations can kind of offer up what you could put into the pot. I know for the first event, we even looked at doing a little hike out on the Appalachian Trail. But we sort of canned that because it was middle of March, and the weather could be uncooperative. But if we did something a little bit later in April, that could be a part of it.
Let's do like that last weekend we're talking about, right after Earth Day, like the 25th-ish.
Could be. Saturday the 25th. We could do the kind of the proclamation down here, maybe. A little help from Macon County Transit or whatever. We bike out to Winding Stair Gap or Wallace Gap. Do that 4-mile 4-mile hike. Come back to local business and vibe.
You know, when that last full week of April is also Biz Week, and it might be nice to get on the agenda for the Biz Week banquet. I mean, that's an audience that we don't normally talk to about this, but really we ought to be tied into that.
That's a good idea.
Tommy Jenkins, right?
Excellent idea, yeah.
Tommy? Okay.
I think it's that Thursday night. Either Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday. Because church is Wednesday. Yeah.
So you think like the 30th or the 23rd?
23rd.
Okay. We could link that in, if Tommy would be willing. Great idea. That's how you. 10 pounds of new and this 5 pound bag. We're doing good. And this gets back to a little bit what Matt, the second item is the AT celebration advertising and the methods to do that. I didn't know we get these different events together, the information, having someone develop create a fly, but the advertisement for all this stuff, package that would be available.
Like a rack card or something?
Well, could be a rack card, but then digitally it would be available for a lot of other different entities. And Matt, you mentioned something last night at the TDA meeting, their website or something.
Discover Franklin.
That's what was your intent behind that? Is to
all these events need to be on the calendar on that website. Link backs to other. If there's a hub that we have, like our website for the Bob and Corey are working on, all that.
So the Discover Franklin website is TDA's?
Correct.
Okay. That's what I thought you were saying. So again, looking for someone that would pull this information together, package it so it looks nice, so it can be a rack card or poster or handout.
And then direct. Just use that creative to direct traffic to one hub. That's the idea.
Which I think the hub would be our website, yeah.
Can you do like an email, like a mass email to some of the other AT communities?
Sure.
East and
I mean, whatever we come up with, that can be given to ATC. They'll put it on their webpage and they'll blast it out to other, AT communities. Yeah.
We used to get something if we were at Outdoor magazine.
It would be nice, but I hate to be pessimistic, but we probably missed their timeline. Maybe.
There's always holes to fill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's the contact there?
Contact Dusty.
Yeah.
Allison. He would make it happen if he could, I'm sure.
Having said that, the latest Appalachian Trail Journeys magazine, and I don't know how this got in there, but thank you, Lord. Under the public notices, there's a write-up about April Fool Trail Days 2015, talks about Franklin, very general, and it directs them to the aprilfooltraildays.com website, which is still up in there. So that was good. We got out that way.
Is that redirecting to a new domain yet? Do we know?
Not, I haven't checked it in a few days, but it was still just the old stuff from last year, a few days ago.
I looked at it last night. I Googled Franklin Trail Days to see what all would come up, and that was the main one, the official Trail Days website, which the towns, the Discover Franklin drives you to that, has a link. chamber did something, I know, because there was a blog, through the blog, Franklin, Natahalan, and the site was by the TDC. So that also got linked back to the April Fool Trail Days. And then, of course, Matt, your business site has information on there from last year. The Franklin Main Street program, though, .org, off their website, and then they did not list it as an event. So, Justin, any idea what's going on with the Main Street program, or how they could be approached to, or who would be approached to
Just have to
include?
talk to Tony.
Okay.
I think he's took over the website and doing everything with it, so.
I know they list events, when they started listing events, the first one they had was the 4th of July, or something like that. Ken, any insight?
Well, I don't have any insight into the failures of the website, but we did talk at the last Main Street Board meeting about trying to work more closely with other organizations that have an interest in other aspects of Franklin. And I'm now the liaison between Main Street Board and the ATC. So,
Oh, that's good, I think. For us, might not be so good for you.
so I'd be happy to carry that back.
Okay. Yeah.
And Justin obviously is close to that too, so.
Well, I will talk to Rob and Corey and see where they are and how they want to, if they're going to use the April Fool Trail Days. The information that's there is good. It's okay, that website. It just needs to put the new information on for this year and start building that. And then I think the intent is that everybody will be driven to that off these other sites with links. You know, they can do a short write-up, but then the link would drive them to this one website
Information.
with all the information.
And I was going to bring up something, the Facebook page. I know it was up here.
Yeah, I don't know where we are on that.
Oh, it started.
Yeah, it's only at 21 likes. And we're kind of up against it here, and that could be a good tool to.
Facebook's so hard to read. It's so, sometimes you think it's great, and then
It works.
you don't. It's just one of those things you never want to solely rely on it.
Right.
You know.
It could be it's a powerful driver of traffic though.
What's it called on Facebook?
It's Franklin AT Community. So I think it needs some content on it. You know, just we need to build up the content on it so we're not directing people to a page that's empty.
Right. And Diana, is there a way to, when stuff goes to the hiking club page, it automatically goes?
Website is built, but.
Share, right, share.
Yeah, we just have to make sure that's open to share in the library too.
I know it's just another thing that's been, I don't know if it's, you know, Corey and Rob or Patty that started it, which is great, but we all need to take an initiative to share it.
Share, put content on.
Yeah, and I'm not sure who all the admins are on it either. Are you an admin?
No,
You
has
should
it been
be.
published yet? Because I'm searching for it and it doesn't come up.
It is. It's actually, it's Franklin
Oh, there it
Space. Okay, you got it? I've hesitated to share it because, I mean, we just don't have any content on
Yeah,
there.
just
It
make
needs
sure.
about at least 500 or so before I would think, before we.
Well, what's the best way to move forward, Matt, with,
I think finding out where we are with the website, because that's where we're going to use Facebook to drive traffic with, and then we can kind of work out from there.
so do the
Before-
website
before
first?
all these events start happening. And I know we've all got a ton on our plate, so it's all been started, so it's good.
The next item, I got TDA, TDC, and the Main Street Program Liaison Requirements. we talked about this at our last meeting, we talked, I think we talked about it a little bit when we met for the assessment form. I did go to the TDA meeting last night, gave them an update on our committee. There were some new faces at the TDA, and then we've done a lot since the last summer, so gave them an update on that. I do plan personally to go to the TDC, and Ken, I wouldn't mind going to the Main Street program, just to do, last night I gave them like 10 minutes, just to, there's new faces, new places. And one of the things that I did want to talk to the Main Street program about, get their support, is the past 2 years, the businesses downtown have decorated their windows with hiking, with a hiking theme, and that's been really nice, and I think we would ask them to do that for this period at least, starting kind of in the middle of March through Earth Day or something like that. And the bulk of the windows downtown came online, put effort behind that, and that was really good. I know, of course, Ken, you sit on the Main Street program, and Matt, you're on the TDA, and Linda, you're on the TDC. Of course, Gary attends that too. Is it helpful to have another face there every once in a while, or feel like, I went last night?
Yeah, I think it's very important, yeah.
It makes it
Just to
easier
stay
on
up
you
in
all.
front,
Yeah.
let us know what's going on, look forward to know of opportunities that can help.
Yeah. Okay.
Financially, marketing wise. I think it's very important.
Well, why don't you all, as a group, think about, other than just being me, to kind of spread this out. And then, since we do have folks that are on all three of those, sit on them, if you'll just let kind of the executive committee know that, hey, it's a worthwhile time to come, or, not that we have to make every meeting, but.
Wait for this Thursday.
Yep, plan on being there.
12:50.
Yep.
Bring your own lunch.
Okay. I could do that. Okay, we already talked about the last time on there. Any updates from other committee members that you'd like to bring up or talk about? And then we'll talk about the bylaws a little bit. A couple of things that I have, more just for information. There's a Smoky Mountain Relay. I wish I had more specifics about it. They run like 200 miles over 2 days, and they come kind of close to Franklin. I was going to ask Rob and Corey if they might be monitoring that. I know there's a team that runs. I think last year some of them stayed in town as best they could, rented a couple of motel rooms, stayed in town. I'm assuming they had to get a permit through the Forest Service to do what they're doing.
April 17th, 18th.
Is there a trail running?
Yes, it's a team, and it's like 250 miles or something.
212.
Yeah. They each run multiple times or something, I forget.
On the 18th?
No.
It's not trail.
It's mixed.
They try to stay on back roads.
Back roads,
They use our
Forest
system
Service
roads,
land.
but no trails that I'm aware of.
Yeah, okay.
And they usually run at night.
Well, I think they get a 48-hour, I don't know.
Considering that
Go on
they're
straight
probably
here.
not gonna spend much time in this county, they're gonna be right
They
there.
think
County.
they're probably shampoo.
They kind of weave around. Okay, so that's out there. Fontana Dam will be the 36th AT community, and tentatively their designation ceremony is scheduled for the 26th of March. As I get more, I'm gonna ask for more information, because I personally will try to go to that. Over at Fontana Dam. Amicola State Park Kickoff Weekend. They've been doing this for a long time, a number of years. It's the, pretty sure it's the 7th, well, it's like the 6th, 7th of March, first weekend in March. They have their kickoff event and celebration. I went to their website. It's a lot of neat stuff as far as speakers and presentations taking place there. Gene Espy, the second person to through hike the Appalachian Trail, is going to be one of their speakers. And Justin, I need to see if you can locate our banner.
Okay, it's probably up there in his old office.
Okay.
It's like a bomb went off in there, but it's probably in there though.
I know there's a lot of discussion on the front page of the paper about banners, but we need to think about what we would like to do, if we want to do, besides all the advertising we're looking at doing through social media, if there's something we want to do with a banner on a town hall or down by the gazebo or something. And
I would think if there's nothing on getting designated for that time, there's the one by town hall, I would see probably putting one in there.
Reserve it, right?
Yeah. That's their problem.
Here's
I
a
wouldn't
little
think it
free
would be.
library. Oh, thanks.
Very smart.
okay, any other updates, comments? Let's spend 15, 20 minutes on
Yeah, I've got a meeting at 11:30. So
Okay.
I'll be fast.
We'll go through a couple of concerns, and maybe we can yeah, okay, no problem.
First one, I realized that many of the organizations that we borrowed from refer to themselves as advisory committees. It gets a little complicated when you talk about executive committee.
Committee of a committee, yeah.
So I would propose that we be the advisory council, which keeps the C, but it eliminates the confusion when we talk about committees of the council. So that's just a personal suggestion.
Everybody happy with that? Good. All right.
Section 2 talks about partnership organizations. I would propose that we actually delete this here for two reasons. One is some of these organizations are members of the advisory council, others are not, and it's unclear exactly what the relationship is. The other thing is, because it's in the bylaws, it takes two to tango. So for us to say, here are our partners, but some of these organizations have never said they're our partners, it's just a little awkward. So I would propose to delete this specific list, but just have a more generic reference to partners with other organizations within the community. And then we will have a number of those that are actually members of the council.
So you're saying, take out the specific one, but put some kind of generic to say the council will look to partner with like-minded organizations or something like that?
Right. I mean, we can still keep our list of ones that we would like to be involved with, but it's a little presumptuous for us to call it in our bylaws who our partners are. The next thing I've got is, you'll see in Article 2, Section 3, the original bylaws had or the original draft had the criteria for membership, including age requirements, background and interest in serving, that kind of thing. It really didn't apply fully to us because we have organizational members that don't meet individual requirements. Christine and I changed this to say individual members. So I just want to raise that point and also just ask whether this is still something we want to keep in here. I don't have a problem with it. It's just, would this be members who are individuals other than organizational related members? So that we've got some criteria for having non-affiliated individuals. So is that the purpose of it?
think it's my thought was it's to define somewhat of a criteria, but obviously, if we could weave in the idea that they could be individual/organizational members. I mean, I understand where you're going.
Yeah, in section 2, we added some language that talked about individuals or organizations that support the purpose and objectives.
Right.
And we talked about where organizational members may be represented at meetings by one or more individuals. So I think we've got the membership covered, and we just converted this into a description of individual membership criteria. So if that's okay, I just want to raise the change. I think it works.
Yep.
There's on page 5, in Article 3, Section 3, I just want to point out there is a term limits section that was in the original draft. And I just want to make sure that we're actually tracking terms.
Yeah, and on that, it was on my to-do list. Justin is, and this kind of the town has to decide, but my to-do list was for Bob, Scott, or somebody, somewhere to sign a letter for each of us that states, there's some formal document that says, Bill Van Horn.
Like an oath of office or something?
Well, no, just say, you've been appointed. I guess just an appointment or something, but just a letter so that we all have it, as individuals or as organizations, that establishes the start of your term and thank you for coming and doing this, and so that there's documentation.
Okay.
For case in point, we go back to last June. I think the Lazy Hiker Brewery Company, Patty Abel, came on in like June, and it's a letter from the town signed by somebody that says, you're appointed and your term is from June to June, or something like that.
So this would mean, though, that Lazy Hack Brewing cannot be a member organizationally, or Outdoor 76 cannot be a member organizationally after this term expires? And I raised that is that what we really want?
I don't like that.
Yeah, no. I didn't want to leave. I don't want to leave.
I don't think we really even need term limits at all.
And then maybe that's the case.
That's more
Maybe that's the
I
case.
think we just delete that
maybe a
section.
term limit for the
officers.
chairman or something,
Yeah.
maybe, but not actually like, okay, sorry,
Okay.
Right. Thanks for your help.
your business is affiliated with
All right, so
hiking.
we'll
but
convert that
You've
to
been here
just
12 years.
related to officers.
Get out of here.
And we can, we're 3-3. And Ken, you don't think we need to just we say that by not saying something that's inferred that there are no term limits? We don't have to say there are no term limits. Okay. So we're probably for officers, we're saying use the 3 terms at 2 years. Is that, I think that's a bit of a standard to use that for the officers.
So currently there's a 2-year term, and yes, and so we would just say that the limit is 3 2-year terms. Any officer position.
Okay.
You can still be on the other officer position, correct?
Yeah, I think that's, I've seen that happen where you can be secretary for 6 years, but then if you move to another officer position, you're still good to go for another 6 years.
We'll work that around. All right, in the proxies section, which is section 4, just below that, I would just propose that we have a requirement that designation be in writing, and the emails would count, because otherwise somebody just shows up and says, I'm the proxy, and we don't have any verification of that.
Okay, I mean, so far I've gotten, maybe they just come to me, but I've gotten emails like Patty said, I won't be there, and I proxy too.
Yes, and I'm just saying that would work,
Okay.
but that'd be a requirement for voting.
I think that's wise.
Okay,
as well.
so in 3-4, we're going to say, send an email to someone on the executive committee.
Right.
Probably just say that they'll be made part of the official minutes for that meeting.
And
I would have-
that was the,
I think it
So
should be
basically,
attached.
absent from the scheduled meeting is expected to send an email to assign a proxy to another committee member. Just kind of add that in.
and and this is the question, we're okay with, is expected to assign a proxy to another committee member or send a representative. And everybody happy with that?
Well,
No,
for
like-
example, David Lispy is the official representative from Nantahala Hiking Club, but we still have researchers.
And a lot of these people I don't know.
So we talk about it in the context, I mean, we think about it in the context of organizational members, should it be restricted to that? So if an individual is a member, you can't just send somebody on the street. You can designate somebody else to have your proxy, but if you're an organizational member, you can send an alternate representative.
From the organization.
Send a representative from the from their organization.
But then when you say from their organization, what if you only have 5 people on that organization? They're all, are you going to expand that beyond, if I can't be here, I'm hearing you saying that I need to contact another county commissioner?
Or you can send a proxy.
Give somebody a proxy, or you cannot show up at all, but you're not required to do either of those things, but you're allowed to.
Proxy to this, from this committee,
Right.
from this
The proxy, we let somebody on this committee know. Are you somebody? Are you an officer? You're not a proxy person because you're an officer, or?
No, you could proxy, I believe, from my point of view, you can proxy to anyone.
Anybody that's willing to accept your proxy.
Right. Someone that you trust, that will vote kind of the way you're thinking.
But I understand that you can't have but one proxy vote.
Right.
You
That
can't
is
have
correct.
2 or 3 and say,
Can't load up Matt with proxies. Right?
No, no.
dangerous.
All right, I'm just going through this quickly, then we can, under removal of members, you're currently allowed to remove members, or actually you're requested to resign if you have unexcused absences for more than 2 consecutive meetings. This may go into the question you're raising about what is an unexcused and excused
Well,
absence.
last night, and were you in agreement with the discussion last night?
Yeah.
On whether, yeah. They basically got away from, we're not going to deal with excused, unexcused. We're not going there.
Right.
The TDA said, you have an obligation to be at X amount of meetings out of the year. And they said, out of 12 meetings, they use on an annual basis, you can only miss, if you miss 3.
3, and then it's, if it exceeds that, it's still up to this, like to put it in our perspective, it's up to this committee to address it, reach out to them, are you still committed, what's going on? And then, in the TDA's case, we would then, if there's a problem, we'd go for the town board. to have
Okay,
it
so
first.
my question on this is if we change it so that is it still 2 consecutive absences? Does it matter if you designate a proxy or not? Or is it a number of absences within a period? Those are just questions.
Well, the TDA, and I sort of like their model was 3 in a row, raises a flag, and if you miss more than, would be 3 out of 12, 75%, raises a flag. And I would say, not that it has to be in here, but if you assign a proxy, I'm okay with that not
I'm
counting.
okay with that too.
Okay, we'll tweak the language.
You're looking over
Okay.
stuff.
Education Outreach Committee, currently it's limited, I'm sorry, I'm in
Page 7.
I'm looking, I may
Committees.
I may be flipping back and forth, but
Okay.
Educational Outreach Committee is limited to working with representatives of major county school systems to provide information about activities and programs about the AP. I think our educational outreach ought to be broader than the school system and make it large, so I propose making that change.
Okay. Yeah.
Nominating committee, made it solved. I don't have any specific questions. Section 5, Article 5. Those were my quick questions, Bill.
I think we all agree with your recommendation.
Okay. Well, you and I'll get together and turn around one more time. If we come across some other questions, we may even propose language this time.
Do we need to vote on any of that, or should we wait for the final?
Wait for the final.
Yeah,
this is just working.
Okay, I've got, anybody got anything else for the good of the cause?
Quickly going back to Fontana Village's AT&T designation ceremony, that's Thursday, March 26th at 12 noon.
It's on their website, huh?
Celebration and lunch afterwards in the recreation.
Okay, thanks, Dan.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Have a second? Okay, thank you all very much. Thanks, appreciate members of the press. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. Video man.